Day 6 of our 10 days of summer sublimation is here, and we are going to be working on a bag. Now I found this bag, which I thought would be a fun summer like beach bag, or it could be a farmer's market bag. This one, I believe you can like roll it up and then you can make it smaller and attach it so it's easy to pack in other bags. Obviously you can do that a lot better, but I'm just showing you this one has some extra pieces here to make it smaller. And I thought this was a fun color for making a summer bag. So when we do something like this, like a bag or a shirt or something that might be holding moisture, we're going to pre-press it first just to get any of the wrinkles and the moisture out, and then we will tape down our design. Now, like the past few videos from this summer sublimation series, I do not walk through all of the process of finding the designs and printing and all that kind of stuff in every video. So go back and watch the first and second in this series if you need some tips on that type of thing. Right now we are just going to work on pressing our design on this bag. And for this bag, I decided to go with this beach bum print, which I got off of Creative Fabrica. And again, I will have all of this linked down in the description box below so you can find it easily. And with this bag, you could do both sides, but for today, I'm only going to do one side. I'm not sure if I want to make the other side something different, but you can always go back and do that if you choose. But right now, I am going to work on this print right here. Now, like I said, we're going to give this a pre-press first, and I have the heat press set to 400. And again, we are going to press it for 50 seconds. I think that'll be plenty for this material. And again, 100% polyester. This one is a little bit on the thinner side, but I think it will take on that pink really well. It might not look pink, it might be more of like a purplish pink, but that's what we're here to test out. So let me go ahead and get this ready to pre-press. I'm going to slide this a little bit closer. I have a lot of stuff on this table right now, so swinging this all the way around can be a bit of a challenge. But for the pre-press, I'm just going to put it on here, and I'm not going to worry about putting any paper or anything like that underneath it. I do want to somewhat center this, so these seams are tucked in a little bit funny. I think I'm going to go right about there. And always check that there's nothing underneath. So that little strap handle was tucked underneath there. And that feels about right. Okay, we can always check the center again after we do the pre-press. And I'm just gonna count for like 10 seconds. Like I said, this is a very thin material, so I don't think it is going to take very much to press that out. And there you go. And I can see that I must have gotten something on the top. See, this is why I should always just cover my material. It looks like there is something on my press, so I'm going to flip it over just because I don't want to sublimate on top of that right now. That got on my bag. Now, one way, if you are one of those that is very picky about centering, you can always line up your edges. See how I'm lining up these edges here? And then you can press, making sure everything is where it should be. Getting all those creases out from underneath. And give it a little press, and that will give you your center line. So like a few seconds here. That should be plenty. And now we have the center of the bag. Let's move these handles around. Oh, you know what? Before I do this, I am going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm going to slide it inside the bag. Again, to protect the other side of the bag and my pressing mat. As long as that is in there. Okay. Now for our design, one way again that you can find the center is to line up the edges of the design. So not always necessarily the paper, which I think this one I did print it in the center of the paper, so that would be okay. But I'm going to take the corners of these squares, because this is a pretty easy one for that, and let's make sure those stayed. Yep. And I'm going to crease the top of the paper and then lining up those letters on the bottom there as well. You know, it's hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm lining up the design edges and then creasing the bottom and the top. Now, I didn't crease the design itself, but I have a good part here where I can see where to line that up with my crease. And it doesn't quite look. Let me try that one more time. I'm going to hold it up to the light of my window. Okay, so now that we have our center line, we can flip this over and line it up where we want it. And now we will take a few pieces of tape to hold that in place, cover it with our Teflon, and we are going to go down for 50 seconds with firm pressure. There are so many different styles of bags out there that you can get. The higher the polyester count, the better. I know the Cricut brand has some that are compatible with infusible inks, which is what you would look for because that's the same thing as sublimation. But there are so many other brands out there now that Michaels and Hobby Lobby have just a ton of different things that you can use and different styles of bags, and I love doing all the different things. So I'm always looking for another style of a bag that I can do a fun design on. So we are going to swing this around and let this sit for a second to avoid that ghosting effect. And then we will peel this off and see how this pink color turned out on this. What color would you call this? There's so many different names for colors. It matches my press though. It's the same color. And we will see what it actually looks like. Now, if you've been following along up until now with all the different projects, which one has been your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. I love that I can do all sorts of different things and provide you guys with resources to go out and do the same. So which one so far are you most likely to try out? Okay, we are going to, ooh, that is still super pink. Look at it, took almost all of the ink off the paper, which is what you want. It always looks a little bit dull after you print your sublimation prints, but it actually is supposed to look like that, and then it brightens up when you press it. I really like that. I think, honestly, my oldest child will probably take this for herself if I can't find somewhere to hide it before she sees it. And I really like this bag. This was such a super quick project. You would be surprised how fast you could crank out a bunch of bags and things like this. The design I pulled right off of Creative Fabrica, and I liked it just the way it was. I'm not selling this for anything, so sometimes you really should, if you're selling things, not just do the straight design, but add a little to it, change a few things. But because I'm not selling it, I was fine just keeping it this way. But that turned out really well. Let me pull that cardstock out and see if any of the ink went through. Nope, that one is still pretty clean, so I can save that for another project. And there you have day number 6, the Beach Bum bag. Remember to go back and watch days 1 through 5 if you haven't seen those yet. Otherwise, watch the video that's coming up next.